Okay, so we're going to paint the sitting pug PB348. So to start off with, he's come straight out of the box, and what we need to do is we just need to sponge any cardboard or ceramic dust off the piece, and that also gives me an opportunity to check that the piece is good and there's nothing odd happening on there, that there's no cracks or weird stuff going on. So I'm going to be using the Stroke and Coat colours. Always give them a good shake before you start. So I'm going to give it a shake and then squeeze a little bit out onto my tile. The brown colours can be a little bit thick when they come out of the bottle, so you just need to add a little bit of water to it. But for this particular technique, we're going to add a lot of water to the brown, which isn't normal, but for this particular project, we're going to add a lot of water to it. And then we're going to paint the whole thing with dark brown, and this is Java bean, which is quite a dark, warm brown colour. Okay, so we have one wishy-washy coat of Java bean all over the piece, and we then wash our brush out in water. Then using a clean sponge and water, I'm going to wipe the colour off the piece, leaving the colour in the crevices. So I'm going across the grain. He's going to look fine at the end, but he's going to look a little bit dirty right now. So it's going to look a little bit like this right now. I've tried to make sure his eyes are as clean as I can. It looks a little bit patchy with colour, but that's good. That's what we want him to look like right now. I'm then going to move to Rawhide, number 46, which is a light colour. You don't have to do this particular colour. I've done pink and purple and a lighter, warmer brown, but the principle's the same. You wipe it back first of all with a dark colour, and then you come over the top with a light colour. The dark colour will show through the light colour. So that's number 46, Rawhide. And then we are going to paint the whole body of the pug using Rawhide. And we're going to paint 2 coats, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to the paint as I go, so that I get a bit more of a transparent or translucent effect. The sample here was painted by Amy, and she used 2 coats of neat Rawhide, and the detail hasn't come through quite as much, although he still looks rather cute and gorgeous. So on this one I'm going to have it so that we're seeing more of the dark colour coming through. And that's 2 coats of number 46 Rawhide all over the body of the pug. I've left the muzzle unpainted, and that's exactly how the sample's been done. The muzzle's been left unpainted. Now if we've got any paint in areas that we don't want it, we can get a clean brush with a little spot of water and go around and fix any areas. So just clean my brush off, and then I've gone over the edge just there, so I just wipe that bit out with clean water. Whoops, let's not drop him. That all looks okay. There's a little bit around his eye where I don't want it to go over like that, and a little bit over his nose, but otherwise he looks good. So the next step is going to be using Cottontail number 16, and what we need to do here is we need to start putting some white on the eyes. So I'm using a number 2 detail round brush. Synthetic hair is quite nice here because it snaps back and holds its shape, but this is an area where you'd use a smaller brush. The rest of the piece, every step I've done up to this point, you want to use a nice big brush, but for detail bits like this, let's use a smaller brush. Now we want these eyes to be super white, so we're going to come back and do a total of 2 or 3 coats in here. You want them to be beautiful white, let's do 3 coats. So we've got number 74 hot tamale for the collar. Add a little bit of water to the colour because I want to see some of the dark brown from underneath coming through this red colour. So I don't want it to be flat red. I want a little bit of this translucency. Using my little finger for support so I get a nice sharp edge. So that's 1 coat. 1 coat would do. But 2 coats gives us that nice depth of colour. We've given the 2nd coat of white a chance to dry, and what we're going to do back now is go back and do the 3rd coat of white. And I'm only going to do it on the lower portion of the eye for this now. Okay, for the little tag we are going to use number 42 Buttercup, and we just need a dot of that. And then his tiny little tongue we're going to paint with Rosy Posy. For the eyes, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use the lid to draw around to give me a line to follow so that I can try and keep the pupils, the eyes the same sort of size. So I'm right-handed, I've drawn the left eye on first, and then I should be able to sort of match up roughly. So I'm using a felt tip pen to roughly draw a line on, and then I can get a bit of an idea of whether it's in the right place. It's not quite in the right place, but I can use that as my guide, as my guidance. So what I'm going to do is, over my now dry white, I'm going to paint the Java bean brown over the top to the whole area of the pupil or the eye colour. I'm using the neat brown, and I'm going to do 2 coats. The felt tip pen mark will completely burn off in the kiln, so it's just there to give me a guideline to paint to. We need to put 2 coats of black on the nose, and that's the 2nd coat done. And then we need to be brave and do the eyes, and I didn't have a guideline for that. I just used the edge of the brown that was already there, and ideally you want to go around and do 2 coats of the black in this area. And then once the paint has properly dried, we're going to use a brush handle, and we're going to dot the pupils in using the brush handle. So here we just have to be very brave and just go for it. So we're going to put the highlight in, and we're going to put a highlight there, and then we're just going to put a highlight there, and then using a smaller brush I'm going to put a highlight in just below it, and then just below it like so. And then if you want to, you can add a little bit of eyeliner in for your dog, and if you come from the black pupil and then just bring it out, you don't have to do a huge long line, you can just do a short little line. So I've started in the black area and I'm just pulling a line out, and the same again from the black area, and pulling a little line out. It doesn't have to be perfect, just accentuates the eyes. So this little guy just needs to be clear glazed and then fired in a kiln on a normal cone, 06 to 1000 degrees centigrade. Thank you very much.